The truth is about the asphalt next door is that's all I can smell. Unfortunately, it was a little bit of rain this morning, and you know how it brings up the smell of the forest, but I didn't smell any forest. But it's possible that the rain was also smelling like asphalt. I've smelt rain that has smelled worse than a junkyard full of cars and rusty petroleum, whatever they do spray up there. But so that's bad enough. But then now here, right next door, um, I am. There's something deep down in me. I mean, there's something of me that sees a positive thing in it. For them, really, it's just for them. Like if you look at that, just that place, it's ruined already. We noticed, well, first of all, the house that they put in there. Yeah. Well, anyway, these are city style, cityfied kind of people that are ignorant about where they live on a scale that's kind of, it's just odd because are they up here for the mountains or what are they up here for really? They're up here for a status symbol kind of thing. And so, but they don't have anything to do with the wilderness, even though these people, I know that they're affiliated with the fire department. I mean, if I think that they worked for the fire department, but that doesn't mean anything. They don't, that's a false, whatever they have been teaching people, and especially now, since fires have changed and been like, shh, don't, they've been shutting the old-timey fire chiefs up, especially in Northern California, when they saw that grass fires were supposed to be held accountable for entire cars incinerated and aluminum tires fucking melted, stuck to the ground with dead bodies charcoaled in them. No. And everybody's so doused up with fluoride or whatever in the air, it's coming in the water, and the fucking cell phones. The EMF waves are just as bad if they can program those EMF waves to act like a chlorine molecule or something and start fucking wearing away. You don't know, babes. The experiments that have gone on it has gone on, and if you're doing your research, it's what's happening. It's just there is something that tries to give us a fair trial, a fair shot, a fair warning, even. And it's hard to tell whose news is whose. You know, it's like, well, maybe if they start talking about eating crickets and shit, maybe we should think about starting our own food operations in our microcosms here in our community. Like liven up a little bit here. What the fuck is this? I mean, if you do that, you'll see that there's a lot going against that. GMO seed, the GMO seed, first of all, doesn't reseed and it only grows under the non-GMO seed. That's what you want to do because that's the safer food. That's the thing that's worth eating. The other stuff does not have I would say the structure of the virgin in there that harmonizes with your virgin, which is, it's an original signature, the master design, I guess, and that's what the idea, I know what I understand about the difference between GMO and non-GMO. To me, it's simple to understand. It's like, oh yeah, of course, and because if you go with the non-truth, you're going to get a non-nourishment, and even your illness is non, because it's from a fake situation. If you stop the fake situation, that fake illness will go away, and then the fake cure won't come and get you, which the doctor just so happens to have all kinds of different things to counteract what symptoms are you having? They will name your symptoms first sometimes. Oh, in case you're experiencing blah, 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 and they just know, well, this certain chemical is going to turn this up. In fact, the autoimmune deficiencies, see, this is what I'm worried about this carcinogen that they poured right next to me. That's all I can smell. And I'm going to make sure that he knows that I'm experiencing this. I'm not a crazy person. I would be crazy. I wouldn't do myself any justice or any good to sit here and cower down, turn alcoholic. I mean, I smoke a lot of fucking pot, and it's keeping me healthy. I swear by inhaling. Now this is off the subject matter, but to inhale, to vaporize your herbal things or anything you can that's medicinal and try and take it through the lungs. That's one of the direct ways to get it through your bloodstream. And then another way is, well, I'm hearing through the belly button, but another way is through your colon. You know, that's where a lot of the medicines start working. Really, is in the lower part of your colon. It has to sit there, and then now it's getting all in. That's where colds and the cold, namely the common cold, sits in your lower intestines. That's why you have to feed a cold a lot of fibers and flush it out. And then, well, you starve a fever. You shouldn't eat a lot of fibers. But anyway, this shit that's happening, I'm trying to psychologically adjust. Pardon me. It's like, and pardon the light. You know, it's like I don't care that you don't see how amazingly graceful and beautiful I am today. Having a hard time. I actually haven't slept in the last couple of days, and I realize I need to get my shift together. And I'm thinking, you know what, Pluto and Capricorn, you just fucking hang tight. Hold your horses over there, Neptune and Pisces. Let's get it on Saturn in Pisces conjuncting my Jupiter. I'm fine with trying to structure my Jupiter in retrograde. My only planet that's retrograde is Jupiter, and I was studying. I was just refreshing on that phenomenon of just what does Jupiter retrograde mean? You thought that Jupiter was really high-minded going forward. Well, now it's going to do this other kind of retrograde. Like, I'm going to remind you how fucking bitchin' you are, and what we're really digging deep down in this subject matter. For me, it's Pisces at 10 degrees, which states spiritual refreshment. I'm a spiritual refreshment. Spiritually refreshing. There's other things that it points at too. It's pretty close. It's 10 degrees. I should look at what the seconds are. Is it a might as well be an 11? Most likely. Would make sense. God, this drink I made is so good. I have not been eating right, but this has avocado, a little thing of garlic, bunch of spinach, turmeric. It didn't taste good at first, but now when I feel it going into my body, my whole body is saying, thank you, thank you. Do you realize that you're supposed to be drinking this slowly right now? Do it all day. Something going on. Well, in my last video, I was trying to express how I'm receiving downloads of all kinds, and one of the main things is, of course, my personal life. Like, how am I going to deal with, first of all, this thing here? You know, it's just like, oh my God. I can cry about it. I'm fine. I have to tell him. My God tells me, go ahead and cry in front of your neighbor. Go up there and sob and say, you don't understand how that affects me. It makes me sick to my stomach, because not only because it seems that you don't care about the environment here. Really, you're not. See, there is so much that we can put up on like, take it to trial and say, okay, so clarify, why do you really need this? See, I need to shut up. Fact is, I can't stop it, but that's not true. That's not true. I was actually thinking, you know what? I should offer him $3,000 to take these fucking truckloads out of here, and please bring decomposed granite in here, because number one, I see the activity that you have going on here, and it's not very much. It's not worth it to place this fucking shit down. It's just not. And you, hon, I see that you're coming to your end of life process, and it's hard. He's a lot older than me. He's chugging away. He must be 72 or so. And I've seen what's happening. I listened to the conversation in over a year. What is happening? I mean, he's hiring these young guys, and they're like, huh? They're like listening to him, and he's actually doing that to them. So it's like, okay, you're fading out, babe. You need to get more spiritual and more religious instead of this fucking material fucking, well, because if you keep doing that, look what happens over there. There's still time. See, This guy's affiliated with some big time shit, I guess, because they were doing some roads up by the school. They're repaving that road, and these same trucks came over and dumped over 6 loads, big loads, and all I can smell, and I admit it's like, again, it's probably a combination. See, when I went up to the road today, up my driveway, see, I can smell my yard, the road. I'm highly sensitive. I'm an empath. This is alarming to me. I think that we need to get our own sanctuary. See, this is what I'm going to need to do. I will find it. I keep imagining it. See, something keeps saying, and Shauna, you belong in sanctuary. Why? Because you keep that sanctuary. That's the thing you were built for. You are a fixture in the sanctuary. This place isn't appreciating it. And the line goes something about paved paradise, put up a parking lot. I don't know the full lyrics, but it says, you don't know what you got till it's gone. Now that's me. You know, that's the feminine nature, which is silent but deadly. No, I'm just kidding. Life-giving, making things grow and providing a smooth. You get injured, they're there, and you just shut up because they make it feel better. They know how to put the salt ingredient on or whatever. And if I'm going to be moving away from here, just because that it increases, that it's obvious that I'm not really feeling like I should be here, because people are not up here. It's obvious this guy isn't up here for the reason that I'm up here. I'm up here for the mountain and the environment. See, this is the truth about, see, my driveway is not paved. And some people have come down here and said, you know what, Shauna, you are doing the environment such a big favor. You don't even know what you're doing here by keeping it that way. It's doing so good. You're doing so good. And I'm like, yeah, and I don't see a use for it. We come up here to rough it a little bit. That keeps us healthy and strong, believe it or not. And this is a choice we're making. You either choose your fights and get and stay resilient that way, or you're going to be pummeled by some other, I would say, fake fight that is suggested that you need to do. And it's kind of like with this. It's like, okay, so what's really happening? What is going on? What's the future? Why are you pouring a road here? Is there going to be a Ferris wheel? Are you going to have like a drive-through? Because it's not really that going on. Not really. And the whole truth of this whole thing is like, okay, so what? Sometimes it snows in the wintertime and it gets a little rough. Point being here for me, it's not that I'm not saying because I suffer and just walk up to the driveway and shovel the snow, and it's a very short amount of time that snow is here. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, period. This is wrong. It's just a lot of things you can nitpick at as far as like a court, and you go in there and say, logically, babes, if we're talking about an environmental hazard, which it is, I'm going to let him know. It messes with the groundwater. Babe, up here we don't have that much. I know it's everywhere around me. I don't want it here. And why did you have it here? Who are you? I'm going to go up and down this block and say, excuse me, who are you? I need to know, because I just found out my neighbor, he doesn't care where he is. And I can't live within a human ecology that can give a fuck about, especially that I'm here and that I keep this place green. By the way, when I leave, I'm going to cut it down. It's going to be turned into fucking desert. By the time I leave, you're going to be like, and you don't know what you got till it's gone.